Alright, what up everybody? It's your boy Direct, and just got back from King of the Dot World Domination 5. It was crazy. Shout out to the staff. Rap Beer was in there heavy. Shout out to my boy Ak. We held it down. Bow, and I got this exclusive World Domination 5 booklet that you don't have because you wasn't there. And I'm going down all the battles and telling y'all what I felt and just keeping it 100% real. So let's start with day. Yo, I really don't want this blog to be over 10 minutes, but it might be. Fuck it. Genai and Psychosis on day one. Genai, I feel like his maybe his accent or something about his style didn't translate well in Canada, and I feel like that kind of happened the last World Domination. But his third round was crazy. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed his third round. He was talking about the Akon lights in Africa thing and stuff. I forget the punchline, but I'd say Psychosis handily won that battle. I give him 3-0, but I love Genai's third round. Of course, the highlight of the battle was when Psychosis said, he was talking to dude in the crowd, and he goes, if I wanted an annoying faggot to talk during my battle, we would have asked Queens Flip to co-host. Everybody went crazy. Then he jumped on top of the cage, and like, it looked like Triple H winning the ladder match, and he was just clapping everybody 5. So Psychosis won that. Tycoon Tax versus J-Pro. I felt like J-Pro was a little lackluster. Like, after seeing his battle with Conscious, I'm expecting him to do that every single time. I give it to Tycoon Tax just because he was more polished and more consistent throughout the battle, but it really had some high points that were really good on both ends. My favorite line of that battle was when Tycoon Tax said, I'm Donald Trump, a tycoon that doesn't like Mexicans. That was funny. DNA and 100 Bullets was crazy. DNA had this bar where he said, ever since my tooth been missing, I've been missing, and he like wasn't there. It was crazy. Bender versus Soul. I said before the battle that was gonna be the best battle on the card, and guess what? I think it was the best. It might have been the best written battle of the event, actually. It was neck and neck, man. Bender handily took the first round. Soul's second round was hot. Like, Soul almost lost the second round, but he was talking about Bender's drinking problem, and he ended it with some shit like, and that's something, I'd rather have something than a black liver. That shit was hot. Third round, I gave it to Soul, but Bender had one of the best lines of the whole event. He said Ghostbusters proton gun. I'll put Soul in a box. That Mac hit him, baptism. Now Soul getting washed. I was like, woo, Bender! Like, that shit was crazy. Sketch Menace and didn't show up. I'm not even gonna go. Like, we didn't talked about this all week, and I'm sure y'all know by now. He didn't get on the plane. Disaster dressed up as He adopted the name Disaster. And he proceeded to just do some shit literally only Disaster could do. He freestyled the whole battle. He got ready in a couple hours and just destroyed it. Had the English accent, was rapping like Sketch Menace had some spit in your face punchline that was crazy. Like, thoroughly one of the most entertaining battles of the weekend. Sharon and John John. Now listen, John John is my boy. Like, he's my boy. I talk to him all the time. And I said Sharon won 3-0, and I felt bad after because I didn't want him to think I thought he did bad. Like, but Sharon is just he just won the battle. Like, I felt like he won every round. I felt like John John was fully adjusting to a Canada crowd. But Sharon just, let's be real for a second. Sharon is one of the top 10 battle rappers right now. Like, he might not be as good of a rapper as a lot of the battle rappers out. He's not like he has crazy flows, but he just has the skill set that you specifically need to be a battle rapper. Rebuttals, just wording your rounds in a certain way, knowing how to say crowd-pleasing punchlines, but saying potent stuff, saying things to your opponent that only you could say to him. Like, he embodies the battle rapper. Like, people gonna get mad. I used to think Sharon was mad corny, but it's getting to the point where I'm like, he's just nice. Sharon won 3-0. John John had a crazy line about Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. That stuck out to me, and Sharon he rebutted like the whole second round. Like, he just did some Sharon shit, but Sharon was crazy. Shotty and Arsenal, I don't like rematches. I wanted to see it, obviously, because they're two of the best battlers, but I was just like, man, But Arsenal, yo, that first round, he was cooking. He had some shit where he was talking about Shotty's uncle, and he was like, I'm gonna stop talking about your dead uncle now and talk about your brother, your dad's dead brother. Like he was mad disrespectful. Shotty talking about Arsenal's little girl. I mean, Arsenal choked, but the way he brought it back in the end, he choked in the third round, and he basically remembered, and then they tried to call time. He was like, fuck that, I still got more, and the crowd was going crazy. So the way he played it was very like professional, you know what I mean? But I feel like because of a choke, I'm gonna give it to Shotty. But I thought the battle was really close, and I think Arsenal won the first round. And I don't like, it was just close, and it was disrespectful. Arsenal flipped off Shotty's hat. Shotty was all in his face talking about his daughter. Like, no, man. Disaster and Dumbfounded. Like, look, let me just explain something to you. Disaster is one of the top 5 battle rappers of all time, and this is why I say that. I think he's caught more bodies than anybody, like actual body bags. He'll prepare for a battle the morning of. Someone will call and say, we need a main event, we don't have one. He'll show up and body bag somebody. I think what happens is, over these past few years, Disaster got kind of lost because people want him to do certain things. They want him to battle certain people. They want him to do certain styles. And he's like a bipolar person, like all that, you little pussy. Like, he really raps like that. I mean, he really acts like that. Then sometimes he's just very nice and watches anime and just wants to talk about Asian stuff. So it's kind of like he has all those sides to his personality. So it's just kind of funny watching him versus Dumbfounded, because you're like, wow, Disaster's back. Like, this is the Disaster we want to see. We want to see him dress like a monk and say, like, I don't know, it was like the battle he did against Everybody Knows mixed with the battle he did versus A-Class, mixed with the blog he did for Jin. Like, it was just like all the Asian stuff Disaster wanted to say came together against Dumbfounded. Dumbfounded, I actually think he was better than he was against Conceited, but Disaster was just on 10. Like, the shit he said about the nail shop, he was like, I hate your nail shops, because they be doing your nails. You be with your mom in the nail shop and they be doing her nails and be like, I thought I done do. And you be like, what does that mean? And they be like, oh, I said your mother, she beautiful. And like, how he was like, he just told Dumbfounded to shut the fuck up during his verse, because don't they like, the monks teach silence and shit? Like, that battle was crazy. Dumbfounded should have called him a firebender Al-Qaeda member. He should have said it. It would have been body bag. It would have been over, son. Quake versus Lex Luthor. Quake raps very, very well, and he told me he might not do battle rap anymore. But like, here's the problem with battle rap, is that all the dope people who are good at rapping, that have styles that aren't the popular style, all these fools don't want to battle because they're sick and tired of the fans wanting them to PG step and formulate their rhymes a certain way. We need y'all to actually battle. That's the only way it will change. You have to understand that. So Quake, get your ass back in the ring and keep banging, son. Lex Luthor, I thought Lex Luthor won. His punchlines was crazy. He had a line we were talking about the whole night. Like, he's like, I use my pen to get me out the trap like James Bond. That line was crazy, son. You know what I mean? Like, who says that? But just Lex Luthor, I should be one to talk, honestly, but Lex Luthor has crazy like anime bars and shit, but some of it just be too much. He said he didn't do that many in this battle, but I know Quake was confused, like, Dragon Ball, what? Power Rangers, what? Like, he was really confused. Like, he couldn't even do flips because he didn't know what was going on. Definition versus Source was one of my favorite battles of the whole event, because Definition has this like dry sense of humor that I was told that it doesn't go over too well in the UK. Like, he's popular, but he's not like a megastar over there because people don't really understand his humor. Yo, he's funny as shit, man. Like, he had us dying. And the Source was on point. Like, the Source was... I felt bad because before the battle I said maybe the Source is getting like a little boring because his style. But I think it's just the matchups. Like, you don't put the Source against certain people, because it... Like, I like seeing the Source against people who are funny, because it shows that he's funny, he can out rap, you know what I mean? Like, this battle was... The battle was crazy, but like in a funny way, you know? Like, I had the Source winning going into the third round, but Definition's third was so funny. Like, maybe I had it 1-1 going in the third round. And live, I think I edged Definition because I thought he might have got the third round. But I don't know, I have to watch that back. But because the Source might have got it, because his shit was potent, man. But definitely that was probably the funniest battle of the night for me. Real Deal and Head Ice. Now let me tell you about Real Deal. Real Deal was getting on my damn nerves the whole battle event because he kept calling me young flame emoji. Because he says every time I tweet Rap Grid bars on the Rap Grid Twitter, it's always a whack bar with fire emojis behind it. First of all, I only put fire emojis for shit that's actually fire. Like, there's like 3 lines per event. Second of all, if you say something whack and Rap Grid quotes it, like, I mean, there's just reporting. Like, if you say you can see defeat like niggas with no shoes, and I quote that, it's not my fault you said that. I hold it up to the fans to decide your fate. You know what I mean? Like, but Real Deal is mad at me because of that, and apparently he's starting to get better tweets from Rap Grid movement. So Real Deal, I hate you. But yeah, so, and he was also like, I can't believe you said Head Ice was gonna beat me. So what happened? Head Ice is called Real Deal the wiener and the corn dog, and people laughed, and Real Deal was just like, I don't understand why that's funny. And I was standing behind Real Deal, mind you. And then Head Ice said, shells as big as cow nipples, give a nigga Down syndrome. And Real Deal was just like, I don't understand. Like, of course Real Deal thought he won, but this is my Real Deal. I know you're watching this. I feel like you just be extra serious, man. Like, Real Deal, you're one of the top 10 battlers. I feel like you could beat anybody. But when somebody has, like, might not be, like, as good with angles as you, or somebody might not, like, you just super serious sometimes, you know what I mean? And when someone comes with that straight comedy, I don't think Real Deal responds to it properly, you know? I feel like if Real Deal had, like, somebody slapped him with the nonsensical personality bomb, he'd be crazy. But Real Deal, man, I got Head Ice winning, and me and Real Deal argued about it the whole ride back. So it's alright, man. You'll get him next time, Real Deal. Alright, Pass vs. Chilla Jones. I feel like Chilla Jones ain't really, maybe he didn't really know how to write for Pass, because I don't think his performance was as good as his other performances this year. I do remember thinking that Chilla got the first round, and Pass, I remember thinking Pass got the second and third, because Chilla's, some of his schemes was drawn out. He had like some, like a past present thing, like a bow tie on the GIF. I don't know. But Pass, here's one thing you gotta understand. I think sometimes from the quotes, like, you don't really understand what Pass is doing. Like, even in the Charlie Clips battle, he's just rapping incredibly well. Like, he's another one. Like, some people, not everybody's a punchline rapper. Pass is an effective battler without being a punchline rapper. He just talks about real shit that happens in his environment, and he raps well, and he raps circles around people. I mean, I feel like people don't really have a gauge for that. You're like, oh, he's bars. I feel like Pass has bars. He just says them differently. He doesn't say them in like simile format or obvious metaphor format, and he doesn't puzzle rap. He doesn't do associated wordplay. You know, he gets straight to the point. You know what I mean? So some people try to discredit him for that, but he won. That's all I have to say. I like Pass. I think he's one of the best. Roan versus Kid Twist. I thought Roan, like, let's be real, Kid Twist is fire. Like, I love him. He's one of my favorite battlers of all time. Against Big Mac, to me, how Kid Twist battled against Big Mac back in the day is how he should battle now. I feel like he lost some of that oomph a little bit, and he just kind of be chilling. Or kind of how he battled against Fresco a little bit. But I feel like Kid Twist now is kind of like, he's a little lighter. He's a little bit lighter on the punches than he used to be. But I feel like Roan was getting the first 2 rounds handily, but it was still a funny battle. It was a good battle. Then Kid Twist brought out Toronto, like, councilman Norm Kelly, a politician. They went viral for the Meek Mill thing. Everybody went crazy. It was hilarious. He had the suit, gave the politician wave, and then Roan was just like, "Norm, you're a bitch," all in his face when he was trying to leave, and that was amazing. I actually gave, because Kid Twist's third round was pretty good, man. I gave Kid Twist the third round because that was just like an amazing thing, but I felt like Roan won. That battle was funny. Iron Solomon and Daylight. I see a lot of people online seem like they're leaning towards Daylight. I felt like live, I feel like Iron Solomon won. I mean, let's be honest, Iron Solomon won, but Daylight has a way of just like making people come up with an explanation for why he's doing everything, and he knows that y'all do that, but it's whatever. But I mean, honestly, I think it was a close battle. Saying Daylight won, I'm not mad at. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are just gonna say Daylight won because his bars. Like, you can't even. How are you gonna argue that side? How are you gonna argue that when you can't even explain that? Like, he had bars. What do you mean? It's just his bars. Like, shut the fuck up. But Daylight, come on. What he said about put his face on his back. Now that's Steve-O. One arm will put iron in the sky. That's Magneto. Like, that was crazy. And I showed up as a slave with wrinkled clothes, and 9 months later I got iron. Fire. Iron. Listen, Iron Solomon is one of the top 10 battle rappers of all time. I don't care what you say, what you think, man. This is just real shit. He's one of the top 10. He's caught so many bodies in a row and did so many things in different eras, was the champion of so many different leagues, that it's like, the Mook loss was bad, I can't lie. To me, it dropped him from like 1 or 2 all time to like number like 9, maybe 10. But I still gave him the top 10 spot. These battle rap fans are so fickle, and they jump off your bandwagon as soon as you lose one time. Like, you think he forgot how to battle? He probably just didn't want to do it, or just having a rough time or something. Like, who cares? You know, he comes back. I think this battle was kind of similar to what Iron did against Ines, but I like the performance and the bars way better. Yeah, man. Like, and then yo, what he did with the mirror shit, yo, Iron freestyled for like 18 bars in the middle of his first round to rap about the mirrors that Daylight had on and shit. Yeah, I think Iron won. I felt like he was just touching on more types of topics, and Daylight went straight punchline and bars. But they were fire, but Daylight chose a different angle. Now, he said he had a little bit more, and he took it out because he was just strategizing in a different way. So, to each his own. I thought it was a great battle. It might have been the battle of the whole. For me, that was the highlight. That was my favorite battle of the event. Then we have Immaculate versus Pat Stay. Let's talk about this. I thought they was gonna ask me to judge, but like I was like somewhere else. Man, I knew it was gonna be close, and this is one of the first battles that I was like, I don't know if I want to judge this shit. And it proved why. I mean, this is what's gonna happen. You saw the interviews I did with Ilmac and stuff, and he was just walking around like he was gonna win. And even before the battle a little bit, Pat was acting like, man, like Ilmac is gonna go mad hard, and I'm like, I'm still getting my preparation together. So in the battle, I have Pat handily winning the first round live. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Pat was being charismatic and stuff like that, and I think Ilmac's round was more potent, and he was saying more things, and he was talking about what Pat was gonna do, and Pat did it. But Pat Stay just has a rare charisma and personality that if he really comes at you, you have to find a way to attack that. And I don't feel like Ilmac didn't like negate his charisma by saying what he said, but it was a very solid round. Now what I did feel was that I might feel like Ilmac won on camera, but live, just the way Pat was moving and controlling the crowd, it was like that great Pat Stay shit, you know? So I give the first round to Pat Stay handily. But that's not handily, but I gave it to him. Second round, Ilmac, I felt like Ilmac washed Pat in the second round. Like, Ilmac just came with that shit, and Pat was kind of doing what he was doing in the first round, but it wasn't really like Ilmac just went next level on him. So you can kind of say going into the third, I had a slight edge to Ilmac because, or maybe a tie, but maybe a slight edge to Ilmac because the second round was so crazy. Third round, Pat did a great job of explaining his whole mentality and mindset of the battle, and people really took to it. Ilmac kind of made it seem like, yo, he was tapping out, and that worked to his favor. But Ilmac's round was crazy. Now, after the battle, I remember I was standing behind J-Pro, and I looked at J-Pro, and I'm like, yo, man, I don't know who won. I think J-Pro judged, but I'm just like, because Ilmac's third round was great, and it might honestly look like he won on camera, because I don't know what that first round is going to look like. But being here live, Pat's third just came off really well. And it might be easy for some of you guys at home to be like, oh, shut the fuck up. It's obvious that Ilmac won. Because let me talk about something else real quick. Now, we put out this blog with Pat Stay after the battle, talking about, oh, like he didn't try and stuff. Like, Pat was just being funny. Like, I think it's too much hate for that. You know what I'm saying? He respects Ilmac. You know what I mean? And obviously he tried, you know. But I don't know, man. Like, Ilmac played into helping it make it seem like Pat wasn't trying by what he was saying in the battle, which worked in his favor, and which is why I think he got the decision. But I think Pat did good. Like, that was a great, that might have been the best title match ever. I think I might have ended up voting for Ilmac, but I don't know. Like, I mean, I didn't, just to make it clear, I didn't watch any of the battles back on camera. Now what I'm hearing is that a lot of people who like watched it on the pay-per-view or like watched the battle again, like, thought Ilmac won, and I kind of had a feeling that it was gonna happen, but I just, like, just me making a personal judgment there, like, I didn't want to be like, oh, Pat lost because everyone's going with Ilmac. And I definitely had Ilmac taking it, especially on camera, because this shit was so crazy and potent and well written. Hell yeah, that's my World Dom 5 blog. I feel like, you know, shout out to the King of the Dot. Shout out to Avi, man, that's my new friend. Avi, what's up? I feel like Kanye, when he got the Rock chain, he was like, I'm the newest member of the Rockefeller squad. He put out the chain. I got like all the King of the Dot. I'm the newest, but I'm not a King of the Dot staff member, but I fuck with it. Yeah, that's it. World Down 5. I have this cool booklet that you'll never have because you a bitch and you didn't go to battle. But yeah, go to the next King of the Dot battle, KOTDTV.com. Support them, and if you like this nice blue hat, they also have it in red. So go there to the site and buy it. Holla. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, fuck these whores. No, don't do that because you might get STD.